I'm glad you're here, by the way.
It's good to be here.
So, okay, I have to tell you that, I don't know if you noticed yesterday, but when we were doing our scene yesterday when you came into the morgue,
Mm-hmm.
I got really emotional. I was really trying not to cry, and it was strange because up until this point, I've already filmed my death scene and all of that.
Right.
I haven't really. I've just been more excited about this next chapter in my life, and it hasn't really hit me until that moment. And I think it was because you were my first experience on this show.
Mm-hmm. I can remember that. To this day, I can still remember when Gloria called me in to work with. It was 3 little girls, and at the end of each taped scene, Gloria would come out and go, "Okay, now get the script. Let's do this scene about such and such," and she'd bring up a topic, and we'd just do our little improv thing. And I knew right away that this was going to be important, and that was probably the part of it that you aced the best over the other 2. You were thrown into an incredibly complex situation, and because there was a lot going on at the time, and General Hospital was still way and above the #1 show. We were still the standard bearer. We were still doing stuff that nobody else out there could keep up with. And all of a sudden, bringing you onto the show was as much a mechanism to keep Robert in Port Charles.
Right, because wasn't that around the time Emma Sams left?
Yes. And there had to be a reason for him to stick around.
Mm-hmm.
And you became that reason.
And was there any part of you that didn't want to work with a kid?
No.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask.
Never occurred to me, and never even came up. I was probably using some language that I shouldn't have been using on occasion, but for the most part...
It wasn't anything I didn't hear at home,
I'm
so
sure.
Don't worry about it.
And you charged us for us in there. I remember you had this little bottle that you would walk around and say, every bad word, I think there's got to be a quart. I said, look, here's $5. Tell me when I've used it up. I remember when it was one of the first scenes you had, and I'd had this shoulder injury where I literally blew my shoulder apart, and they had to piece it all back together again with pins. And I was working on the show, which is normal back then. You get an injury, you go in, you get fixed, next day you're back on the show. So as I was always coming in banged up, I was always in a degree of discomfort. This one particular time, we're in my my penthouse suite, my townhouse, whatever it was, and there was this scene where I get overpowered by these guys, and they handcuffed me behind the bar. Well, to get the arm back and put handcuffs on it was horrendously uncomfortable, not to mention painful. And then you've got to come in and discover Daddy behind the bar and try to undo the handcuffs. Oh man, we had about 4 or 5 takes. I thought I was going to pass out. When we were doing the location shoot up in Santa Barbara, it was fun. And
you got married? Did you get married?
Yeah.
There, yeah.
And we were filming the backstory of Robert and Anna.
Oh, yes, the one on the beach? That
Yeah.
one? Yeah, that was so pretty.
And it was freezing up in Santa Barbara. I mean, it was bloody freezing, and we had to run around with nothing on, in and out of the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
And plus be romantic. And I can slowly feel the feeling in my feet is disappearing. And finally, it got really, really bad. But you've got to get the work done. You've got to get the shots done. And Gloria's waiting around out in the water. So I'm going, well, I guess if you're they're out there doing it. I got to do it too. And finally, at the end of it, even Finn was getting pretty cold. And there was this guy up on the beach that had this house, and he had a jacuzzi on the front landing there, overlooking the water. And he said, I've been watching this. He said, come up, I've got this thing heated. You guys are in bad shape. And he was right.
We are moving on, 22.
And I don't know whether you've been so cold that when you put something warm on it, it burns. And I sat in that thing and I felt like a stewed potato. I mean, I felt like I could actually feel myself cooking.
That's
It
awesome.
that was a great moment. And we had another one where we were shooting up on Mount Rushmore, and we were working on this train, and we had to jump on the train while it was moving
Oh, God.
and get going, right? And Finn couldn't keep up, so I just bolt ahead.
Like, see ya.
And then finally I'm looking around, I'm going, what are you doing? Come on, faster, presto. So, she got close and I pulled my arm out, bang, on the train. I like to get out there and get my hands in the work, both in front of and behind the camera. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to retire. I don't think I can sit back and put my feet up and just look out into the sunset and go, yes, I've really deserved this moment here now. There's always something else I want to do. There's always a role I haven't played, and I think at this particular point in my life, I'm probably doing the best work I've ever done. So I feel really comfortable. What I'm not too happy about is that daytime is disappearing, and when it's gone, there is such a valuable learning tool for actors that is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be that point where you come out of class or acting school and maybe you're lucky enough to get into a soap for 12 months and really hone your skill that you've learnt in class, and then maybe go on to do movies and do prime time or whatever else. That learning mechanism, that teaching mechanism, that practice mechanism is going to be no more. And I think that is a huge loss to the industry.
Are you going to hire me someday?
I'm going to hire you. You have to return the favor.
Okay, thanks, Tris. Bye.